All right, figured to give everybody an update on where I'm at with the Rokon and just trying to get everything ready and be prepared for when the season kicks off. I know nobody's ever fully prepared, but you know, that'll just take a little time and get things figured out and what works, what doesn't work. But anyways, just wanted to give everyone an update. And last time I talked about attaching a bag to the front of the Rokon, and also I wanted a pad um, to have in the back. I was going to set my camera backpack on top of this, and I wanted a little extra cushioning instead of just the hard steel. Apparently, there's a shortage of foam in our town. I checked a couple different places, and they both said it's just hard to get it in. So I was looking for like a chunk of memory foam. Instead, I got a piece of upholstery foam, and it's about 3 inches thick, which will be fine. I did find what I would call is what it said it was, a waterproof pillowcase, and I put it in there. I know it's going to get rained on. I know it's going to get dusty if I just leave it unprotected. Well, it's not the most beautiful thing, and the cover itself will get dirty, but it's not going to absorb water, and it's easy to wipe off as needed. Because what'll happen is some things I want to be able to leave attached to the bike, and so that way I'm going on the road, I don't have to worry about things falling off. This is obviously not going to be attached and will be taken and thrown in the vehicle, and I can just tap it really good, get the dust and dirt off, and then it's in the vehicle. So it's not a dirt bomb that I'm throwing in the back. Okay, and it's wide enough to where it'll kind of cradle, it'll bend a little bit, and I didn't cut it down. I wanted to have that in there, just a little more security. Now the bag is just a little tool bag I got from Walmart, and what I did, it's got a thin plastic shell on the bottom. Knew over time, hitting those bumps and stuff, if I just did, some bolts and washers, it was going to tear out. So what I did is I cut a couple pieces of, 1/4 inch plywood and cut it down to size. And then I got bolts to go through on the inside. I got another plywood spacer in here because there's going to be a little gap there, and I didn't want to be pulling down on that plastic, giving it a reason to split. So I put a spacer in there, so it should be it's definitely secure. I just don't want this thing to tear out over time and fall apart any sooner than it needs to. All right, I did take it out and ride it, and I purposely chose a very sandy, loose soil area. It's something I've seen a lot of motorcycle riders struggle with, and I had absolutely no problems. And there's been a lot of demonstrations online of people riding in sandy stuff. But you really don't know how it is until you experience it yourself. I really had no problems whatsoever. I didn't feel like the front wheel was going to wash out on me. It just kept pulling me through. Even going through other ruts that were there, it was no problems. I just need to get better about balancing. I never laid it down or anything this time. But with more experience, the more confidence will build. But I did go out and ride, and it went pretty well. And I look forward to the next time. Just try a little different terrain and get a little more familiar with the bike, what it can do. There was one wash out from the runoff, and it just like demonstrated, a million times online. It had no problem whatsoever. Just give it a little throttle, and it just chewed right through that sand and up the other side. No issues. All right. One thing I did want to talk about, if Rokon is listening, maybe they have an answer for this. They sell the field maintenance kit. It comes in a really good little case, and I will keep everything in here just to kind of keep everything centralized that I might need for repairs and whatnot. Comes with a wrench, a spark plug wrench, air filter, fuel filter, extra belt, chain link, master chain links, a section of chain, and even a fix-a-flat system. You can patch the hole, and they got a canister that can inflate the tire back up again. It's a really good kit, and I feel it will serve well. And it even has this chain breaker in here. And the reason why I'm holding it is I wanted to talk about it. if you look, there's the little nut on here, this little pin. Okay, you obviously need a wrench to turn that, and they didn't have a wrench in there that size. I had assumed there would be, but there wasn't. So I'm glad I double checked that before I headed out in the field. And what it's not a standard, it is a 10 millimeter nut. So I had to I'm just glad I figured that out before I needed it, because it kind of would have been a problem. And also, there's a hole here where you can stick a rod through or something to give you leverage when you're doing that. They didn't have something like that in there, at least I didn't notice it. So I just grabbed a bolt that I can stick through there and give me a little leverage when I'm working it. But I anticipate that a good crescent wrench would be a good addition to the kit, or you can just add as a specific wrench. So just an FYI, and it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Just to be aware of. It's a big deal when you're 20 miles from the vehicle, and when you're in your shop, it's not a big deal. But if you think about these things ahead of time, it'll save you some heartache in the future. All right, right now the next plan is I'm going to try to get out and do a little more writing, and certainly report back on how that goes. It'll be just like everyone else, is experiences with the motorcycle, but it's going to be just me and my skill set and how to ride the Rokon well and safely. All right, with that, I appreciate your time, and I hope just a little bit of information that I am sharing here will help solve some of your problems or give you some ideas. And if you got better ideas, I would sure like to hear them. All right, take care and have a good day.